It's my pleasure to welcome Orlando City SC as Major League Soccer's 21st expansion team. Yeah!
It's the end of an era. The final USL Pro season.
Takes a shot, and it's a goal! Orlando City!
There's a target on our back, but we've only got one mission: win. 2 goals, a ball, and a culture defined by success.
Make sure we get up to the guys, yeah?
Don't think we're just going to overlook this season. After all, we have a title to defend.
From the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex at Walt Disney World Resort, this is USL Pro Soccer 2014. Tonight, the first place Orlando City Lions host the Charlotte Eagles. Good evening and welcome, everybody. I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Thank you so very much for joining us for this YouTube telecast of Orlando City and USL Pro Soccer. To my left, back in the saddle again, just like Aerosmith, Tom Traxler. And boy, we're in a unique position. First time all season that we can say Orlando City is coming off of a defeat, a 1-0 loss at Rochester. All good things come to an end, that 18-game unbeaten run.
Well, yeah, time to start a new streak, Jeff.
Sure.
That's the good news. You know, this is a team that's not accustomed to losing, so dropping a match will not sit well with the squad. But let's face it, sometimes you have a bad day at the office. But that's a good thing about Coach Adrian Heath. It doesn't matter. He holds the standards high here in Orlando.
Well, this is a rematch of the championship game from last year. Of course, second of 3 meetings this season between these two teams. Lions have never lost to this club, but Tom, Rochester was in the same position last week, and they pulled an upset.
Well, Jeff, that's why you're going to put a referee out there. That's why you're going to line up 2 teams and blow the whistle and play. If everything was on paper, you might say Orlando City will win this one hands down. But in a one-off competition, when you've got to go out there and kick the ball in anger, any team could beat any team in a one-off game. I believe that.
Charlotte comes in below the playoff line in 9th place, but guess what? They're coming off 2 straight wins. Midfielder Drew Yates, Mr. Consistent. He is tied for the league lead in assists with 7.
Wow, and he is the maestro of this team. When you watch him in video, the impressive thing about him is he can pick a pass from the most narrow of angles. And I also enjoy when he gets the ball to his feet, he can corkscrew an opponent into the turf. He's a special player, a very important player for the Charlotte Eagles.
For Orlando, Rob Valentino, the former League Defensive Player of the Year, back to full strength.
Yeah, another important player because he's the leader of this Orlando City team. He's the captain. He's the guy that's running the ship out there on the pitch. And not only is he important to keeping the chemistry at the back, his noggin is really important on the other end of the box on headers off corners. So very important for Orlando City to have that man right in the heart of their defense because he is the heart of their team.
If you know Rob, you know he's a guy who's allergic to losing a game. Here's what Orlando's captain had to say this week at training.
It's not a refocus. It's just it's a wake-up call a little bit. Just, you know, we're not invincible. Any team can win on any given day, and if we don't bring it our best every game, you know, someone will beat us, and that's a good thing to always carry. And it's a shame that it took a loss for us to, you know, wake up and see that. But you know, we're just going to pick up and move on against Charlotte. Our focus is to win every game we can, and any game we're going to play in, we're there to win. So whether it's playoffs or first place or whatever, we're here to win and be the best team we can be.
Well, this is a huge game for Rob and the Orlando bunch. They top the table, but Tom, only now by a single point. They've got 3 games in hand on Richmond, so you got to get those 3 points tonight.
Yeah, you always talk about that, Jeff. What's better to have? The games in hand or the points? I'll always say I'll take the points. So this game becomes critical because it gives you that chance to add another 3 points in the distance between you and Richmond in second place.
Adrian Heath's club will play their next 4 of their next 5 on the road. And the next home game will be against Harrisburg in 2 weeks, a very important stretch of the season for the Lions.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, again, when you talk about having 3 games in hand, well, here they are, and these are the next 3 games you need to win. Look at that last one against the Richmond Kickers. You know, that one, it's almost like a 6-pointer, Jeff. That'll be like 6-point. Between the 2 teams, it'll be like a 6-pointer.
Well, with that, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have starting 11s and kickoff between Orlando City and Charlotte. You're watching USL Pro Soccer here on YouTube. Back at ESPN's Wide World of Sports, I will take the time to honor America with our national anthem sung tonight by Stephanie Zyka. Stephanie Zyka with our national anthem here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Let's meet the starting 11s for the visitors first. The Charlotte Eagles coming in 7-11-3, sitting on 24 points. Their head coach, Mark Steffens. His lineup sets up this way. Alec Kann, the Chicago Fire loanee, will be the goalie. The backs left to right. Newnham, then Duckett and Greer in the center. Johnny Leathers gets the start at right back. It's a 4-3-3, so in the middle, aforementioned Drew Yates will be backed up by Fred Sekcheri and Juan Guzman, who's played with Charlotte since 2010. And then the three men at the head of the attack, Jorge Herrera, 6 goals to lead the team. You'll see him switch sides with Wells Thompson. And then David Estrada, the Seattle Sounders loanee, he will be the striker up top. And for Orlando, Tom?
Well, going against that Charlotte Eagle 4-3-3, no surprise, Jeff, the 4-2-3-1 of Orlando City with Miguel Gallardo between the posts. In front of him, a very familiar back four. Luke Bowden over on the left back side. Tommy Redding and Rob Valentino holding down the middle, and Tyler Turner over on the left. In the holding midfield pair, Darwin Sarin, a fan favorite here in Orlando, and next to him, making his home debut from the loanee from the New York Red Bulls, Ian Christensen. 3 midfielders ahead of them, Adama Mbenge over on the left side. The man having the season of his life so far, Kevin Molino, will be in the hole, and Brian Kobe Spann over on the right side. And with 5 goals on the season so far for Orlando City, up top will be the speedster, Dennis Chin.
Yeah, Molino still sitting on 29 points. That leads the league, along with Matthew Delicott, who now leads the league in goals by 3, the striker from the Richmond Kickers. Orlando City comes in 14-1-4 on 46 points, just a single point lead, as we mentioned, over Richmond, but they can extend that lead with a win against Charlotte tonight.
Yeah, you want to get yourself back onto your winning ways. I mean, this is the same team that went on an 18-match unbeaten streak, so there's no reason they're not going to return to their winning ways tonight. It's a team full of confidence in themselves, and I think you're going to see them refocus on the things that Orlando City do well.
The Eagles in tied for 9th place right now. They've got this game against Orlando, a game against Richmond next week, a team that they play very well. In fact, Orlando's fans are very happy with what Charlotte did last year. They knocked off Richmond in the semifinals to earn Orlando a spot in the championship.
Charlotte's kind of a bogey team for Richmond, really,
yeah,
when you look at it. And I know they've had success against Richmond earlier this season, Jeff.
Our referee tonight is Christina Uncle. She'll be assisted by Kyle Longville, Rob Huffam, and the 4th official on the near touchline, Haver Castano. See Christino right there, setting the watch. Orlando will move from left to right to start off this opening half in the familiar purple. Charlotte in the orange. 2nd meeting of the season. The first one won by Orlando 3-1 back in May. So Orlando will take possession as we see Luke Bowden getting the start tonight. Had some questions whether he would be available because he did accumulate enough red cards to warrant a suspension, but you've got to wait 7 days before you take the suspension, so he and Darwin Sarin available tonight.
Yeah, go figure. I mean, it's going to be tough. Losing those two players will be tough at any time. It would have been tough tonight. It's going to be tough against Harrisburg. So anytime you lose a Luke Bowden, especially he's a stalwart, he's always there on the left side. That's changing some chemistry. So, but Orlando's they have a deep roster. They have a deep squad of players. So I think they'll be able to handle that for a game just fine.
Tonight, first of 7 games in the month of August for Orlando, so it's going to be a busy month. They played 7 games total all of June and July in the league.
Yeah, it was funny, Jeff, because when you think about back to May, they played a ton of games in May. They played a ton of games in June. And then it kind of got quiet for them in July. Maybe that's, you look at the draw against Sacramento, the loss against Rochester. Maybe it's the pace of the schedule. When it was hectic and it was coming at you fast, lots of wins coming on, and the unbeaten streak was going, and then it slows down a little bit. Now it's going to pick back up again for them. But that's kind of like Orlando City on the pitch, Jeff. Orlando City loves to get the ball moving. The pace is rapid when Orlando City plays. So they kind of like that.
Saw Ian Christensen start things off in his first home start of the season. Played a little bit in that loss to Rochester. And thin ranks there in the central midfield for Adrian Heath with some injuries, and Jordani Alvarez out. Anthony Pulis taking a nick recently. So you got to bring in the reinforcements. The Red Bulls loanee, graduate of Georgetown, 2013. Drafted by the Red Bulls, 22nd overall. Now here's Sarin. And Sarin ahead to Mbenge, looking to that corner of the 18-yard area, and recovered nicely by Charlotte.
Looking forward to seeing Orlando City get that ball moving. Crisp 1 and 2 touch passing, changing the point of the attack quickly, getting those backs forward. Those things that are all staples, high energy staples to the way Orlando City play.
If you're Mark Steffens, who we talked to prior to the match, it's all about how they start. If they get off to a good start, get a goal, they're a different team than when they're playing from behind.
Well, that's always important. I think for Charlotte, that's a key, obviously, as Coach Steffen indicated. I also think it's important for any team playing against Orlando City. You want to score first. You never want to play from behind against Orlando City. Their record, I don't think they've ever lost the game. I'd love to see the stat, because I don't think they've ever lost the game when scoring first, Orlando City. So that's true. While it holds true probably for Charlotte over the course of their season, it definitely holds true when you're playing Orlando City.
Another streak is Orlando City had not had back-to-back games in which they were shut out since their first season in 2011. So they had a 0-0 result at Sacramento in a game where they had some chances to get a goal, and then of course the loss against Rochester last week. So looking for a goal. It's been quite a drought by Orlando standards.
Yeah, that's something unusual, especially when you think about the way Orlando City set forward, because they go forward, they attack. I mean, it's all predicated on playing attacking football. I don't think I've ever seen them sit back and try to defend. Even when it's late in the game, they have a lead, they're still trying to play in the other team's half. So that is unusual for sure for an Orlando City team to not score over the course of 2 games. But I'm sure they've had a great week of training this week that was full of energy. And again, I think Coach Adrian Heath was emphasizing the things that Orlando City do well. So they're gonna get back to that tonight, and I think they're gonna be happy to be home again, playing on this beautiful surface here at ESPN Wide World of Sports and in front of their own crowd.
Johnny Leathers with the big throw ahead down the line from the halfway line, and it will be another throw in awarded to the Eagles. So that's one way to get the ball down the field.
Throw it down there.
Leathers makes the switch, tries to get into the center of the box, and Valentino will clear it away. Flick on header out to that left wing. Herrera, dangerous player, makes a touch. Now left side with Newnham, who is one of those Luke Bowden types that likes to bomb up the side. Well, Molino goes taken down.
Well, in their 4-3-3, Jeff, of course, Sikcheri and Guzman are going to pinch in, play more defensive, so that leaves Leathers and Newnham both that opportunity to get themselves forward, and they need to. If they're not getting forward in that system, it's probably trouble.
See Tommy Redding playing in that center defense spot again tonight. Now here's a run left side. Sent across right into the box, and for a heavy touch on Wells Thompson, that might have been an offensive chance for Charlotte. Sekcheri goes down at the midway line, just to the left. Now Kobe Spann with some room to work. Takes it into the corner. Noonan closes him down. Here comes the cross, far post. Whistles right in front and will go out for a throw.
Well, it was a good drive across the box. Unfortunately, nobody there at the far post, but you see Kobe Spann making a great run down the left side, and again, just driving in a wonderful ball.
Spann, the loanee from FC Dallas, has 3 goals coming in. So interesting, the partner for Orlando City this year in this USL Pro MLS partnership, Sporting Kansas City, as it was last year. Nary a Sporting Kansas City player in this lineup.
That's interesting.
Or on the roster. Peter Vermees has closed that down because he knows what Orlando City is going to be coming next in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I think they're saying, hey, I don't think they're shaking hands there. I think he's got a dead arm.
Sekcheri
maybe his shoulder, perhaps. Who
checked
knows?
Out.
Yeah. Hope he's okay.
And Vivakra Ghana playing in his 22nd game of the season for Mark Steffens tonight. So a workhorse player will be checked out along the technical area. 0-0, 7th minute. 2 familiar rivals. As Charlotte, one of the 3 non-expansion teams in this league to have never beaten Orlando. That number went from 4 to 3 with Rochester's first ever win last week against Orlando City. Can you guess the others? The non-expansions, obviously Oklahoma City.
Non-expansions, I'm going to say way back when, Antigua, Barracuda.
Antigua had beaten them, though.
Sorry.
Active teams, too.
Teams that have not beaten Orlando City. Charleston Battery.
Nope. No. Charleston got one back in 2011. I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I like this. I like this. So let's see.
Playing games.
If we're looking at it, let's see. Ooh, that's a tough one, Jeff. Look at this list. Would it be Harrisburg?
City Islanders, yep.
Okay. And Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh beat them last year.
They did beat them last year. That's right. Who's the other one? Dayton Dutch Lions. True. Very true.
Of course, LA Galaxy 2, Sacramento Republic, the Oklahoma City.
They're just coming in this year.
They're just coming in. We won't count them yet.
It's a good thing I wasn't playing trivia. No prizes for me.
no free wings.
That's a bad thing.
Players checked out okay for Charlotte. On the 9th minute, another throw by Leathers. Headed by the captain, Valentino. Lose the handle. Orlando will try to counter here. Cannot. Charlotte continues to possess. Herrera, nice move to the right side. Number 10, who's been with Charlotte forever, it seems. Been there since 2007 playing for Coach Steffens.
One of the few this year, that's one of the things I took from our conversation with Coach Steffens earlier this afternoon, the number of young and new faces that he has with his squad, and what a challenging job he's had to mold this group together.
Tommy Redding will retreat. The 17-year-old center half for Orlando, seeing his 7th start here tonight. As Brad Russin continues to get better from his injury. Saw him in training this week. He's getting close, he said. As Bowden pushes the issue, doesn't amount to much.
You're talking about Brad Russin and Rob Valentino. Great partnership so far this season for Orlando City, but it's always nice.
They really haven't played much because when Russin was in and Valentino was hurt.
But it's a good partnership, the two of them. I think they enjoy playing together. But how nice is it to have a young man, the caliber and stature of a Tommy Redding, so composed and good on the ball as well, Jeff. Very good on the ball. There we see Toby coming in.
Toby does come in.
It's good to see him back out there and not having any problems. That's a good thing.
Darren Toby, the first substitution of the match for Charlotte. That goes past the byline. It will be a goal kick. Well, Coach Steffens said that Wells Thompson was not at 100%, was going to give him a start. Darren Toby has just checked in. We'll try to figure out if, in fact, number 9 for Charlotte, Wells Thompson, is checked out of the game. Or was it maybe the injury to Security?
I think it was injury to Security, so I think Toby's in for probably for Security. Hopefully Security's okay.
Security, the workhorse, 21 appearances this season coming in. So if he in fact is not on the pitch, big loss. As Noonan will send it back to his goalie Alec Can, who again a Chicago Fire loanee now in his 11th start. Shored things up for Charlotte so far, a 1.01 goals against average. Has a couple of clean sheets to his credit as well.
Solid goalkeeper, Alec Can, very solid.
So confirmation, Seccheri is out and Toby in. Of course, Darren Toby, player very familiar to USL Pro fans. Been with Charlotte 2008 to 2012, has over 100 appearances with the team. And was with VSI Tampa Bay a year ago, so had to come back somewhere because that team no longer exists.
A one and done.
Exactly, a one-off. 12th minute, Orlando trying to retain possession. Here's Tyler Turner sending it into the box, running on his chin. And that effort by Span went right to Can.
Well, he hit a good drive. Hit it nice and hard. Unfortunately, right in the middle, right where Alec Can was standing.
Christensen. Nifty defense there by Guzman. A number of these players, in fact, 5 of them on this roster, really been with Charlotte for a while. Guzman and Herrera. Toby.
Classy organization, very special organization, the Charlotte Eagles. So the fact that some of those players want to stay and hang around speaks to that.
Do a lot of work in the community, part of the Missionary Athletes International organization. They certainly have a ministry of not just soccer, but much, much more. Now on the right side, Tyler Turner. Christensen. Span back to Redding, who's played all the way up. Now the switch is made to Valentino. Charlotte begins to bunker in here. Back to Miguel Gallardo in basically the road uniform tonight, the all white, huh?
Yeah, he chose all white tonight.
Everything's going to be all white with Gallardo back there. He and his 8 clean sheets this year, having a heck of a season.
Every little thing is going to be all white for Miguel Gallardo. He wanted to wear white tonight.
Turner with a nifty move into the 18. The cross is there, and Herrera back to defend. That Guzman right there inside the 6. Molino goes down, and here comes the counter from the Eagles.
Boy, that nifty touch you would have loved to have seen that finish with some type of effort on frame.
Here's Estrada, Seattle Sounder. Getting the start up top. And that one pushed out for a throw for Orlando City. Estrada, an interesting case here, 26 years old, drafted in 2010 by the Sounders. 11th overall. He's had 41 appearances for the Sounders. Was loaned to Atlanta earlier this season of the NASL. Glad to have him in USL Pro instead. I'm sure he would like to get back to the big club. But of course, Seattle playing very, very well. Unless you count the game against LA last week.
Well, that's the aim of any player. I think you always want to play at the highest level possible. But this is a great league to participate in, USL Pro. I mean, if you look at the players that have been involved in this league and have gone on to great and big things, you know, case in point, Dom Dwyer last year. So if you come here and prove yourself, you can go on to big things. I think this league is a catalyst for that.
Estrada, in just 2 appearances, has got a goal and an assist. So 3 points. That's rather productive when you're loaned down. Scored 5 goals with the Sounders as well. Of course, you bring in guys like Clint Dempsey, and you got Obafemi Martins there in Seattle. It's tough to find some attacking space on that field.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you talked to Estrada, he'd probably tell you, David Estrada would probably say, I'd rather be playing than sitting. That's what every player wants to do. So I'm sure he's excited about his opportunities here in Charlotte.
In our 17th minute now. Have you noticed anything, Tom, maybe Orlando is doing tonight that they didn't do in the previous games, outside of they still have yet to score? It's been
we've seen, one effort on frame, a few crosses so far. I'm sure Adrian Heath would have liked a little more production, being now in the 17th minute of play. They're getting the ball moving okay from side to side. There's still that last ball in the final third. They're still looking a ball to spring Dennis Chin, looking to get Luke Bowden on track, get balls coming in across.
Scores, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. So it's sent away by Can. Lions closing in now on over 200 minutes of being held scoreless. Certainly unusual. There's a nice one-touch to Molino as Guzman closes him down.
Oh, good turn.
Molino pushes ahead. Can comes off his line and scoops it up.
Good turn by Kevin Molino. Letting that ball in. Dennis Chin just a little too far away to latch onto that through ball. But what a nice, lovely turn.
Molino sitting on 11 goals, Tom. The last one came back in June. That's June 28th against LA Galaxy 2 here. That was his last goal.
Yeah, that's going to feel like a long time. But then again, they didn't play a lot of games in July, Jeff. So, but that's the same guy that's the same guy that scored 11 goals. So they're in him, and it just takes finding the back of the net. And I think here at home, and I think the way Orlando City play, there's going to be plenty more goals for Kevin Molino.
Matthew Delicott has rocketed up the goal-scoring charts this year, now with 14, the Richmond striker. So one off of Dom Dwyer's record of a year ago, and Jose Angulo both with 15 to lead the league.
Should be an asterisk by that, however.
Yeah, he did it in far fewer games than Jose from Pittsburgh.
I think Dom only had a half a season.
Delicott plenty of time as well. Here's crossed by Turner, and Can is up to the task, and he'll distribute out wide right. Again, the longer Charlotte keeps this thing scoreless, and historically, if you take the whole championship game out of the equation, the 7-4 scoreline, these two teams have always played close games.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, the last game it was 3-1, but it was a bit of a closer affair than the score would indicate. I remember a 1-1 draw last year up in Charlotte. So yeah, I mean, Coach Mark Steffens always rolls out a very competitive squad, no matter the players that he's able to put out.
Certainly a club that punches above the weight. Some greater than the parts. You can pull out all the cliches there. Charlotte is always in there. Boy, nice ball inside by Yates. Or excuse me, that was Thompson. Over the top.
That's
boy,
onside.
Dangerous ball, and flag stayed down there. So Gallardo, good decision.
Yeah, good coming out by Miguel Gallardo, and a good ball over the top by Darren Toby. Picked out the runner very nicely. And that has to be a deft touch. Over the top, has to be dropped in just right. Too far, keeper's gonna have an easy time. Too short, player overruns it.
And Benge works with Luke. Back to Christensen. Now Sarin. Turner can't catch up to that one, so it will be a throw deep in their own end for the Charlotte Eagles. Come in on 24 points, coming into the night in ninth place, along with the Orange County Blues and Harrisburg. They're tied for that spot. Harrisburg, the team Orlando will see next. 2 games in a row, 1 away, 1 at home. Throw in Orlando. Continuing to show patience.
Yeah, they're definitely waiting for their opportunity. You know, seeing a lot of the ball going from left to right, from right to left, looking up top, some probing balls at times. Still looking for that ball that they can slip through. Dennis Chin's going to have to be really, really busy. Looking for balls, looking for gaps.
Span that physicality. Nice job holding the ball up. And we'll send it out wide. Surin makes the turn. Nice touch by Adama Mbenge, one of the best touches in the league. Will shoot with the left and push it right.
Well, you were talking about cliches, Jeff. What's that cliche? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, you know, there's Adama, and of course, that left foot, we've talked lots about that over game. Ooh. Can't quite find the target, and that's why if you're sitting behind the goal and Adama shooting, you better be aware, because it's coming with pace. So, but, you know, he's well within his range, of course. It's a good strike, just unfortunately can't keep that one on frame.
I'm sure on the back of the ticket there is that notation where not responsible.
Not responsible if Adama Mbenge hits you with a ball.
Yeah, be on your P's and Q's and keep that head on a swivel. Surin switches sides. Rob Valentino, the captain, directs traffic. Molino. At what point, Tom, if you're the attacking players for Orlando, if you're Adama or Kevin or Dennis, you haven't scored in over 2 games, going on over 200 minutes now. What point do you begin to get frustrated with your attack?
Oh, probably about 180 minutes ago. You know, these guys want to score goals. You know they do, and they're working hard to score goals. What you look for is a couple things. You know, is it you're not creating chances, or is it that you're creating chances and just not finishing? They're 2 really different things. And as I look at Orlando, it's not that they're not creating chances. They just need to tuck one away. And it's one of those things. You start tucking away. Okay, hey guys, back to normal. You know, we're right back on track.
Oh, that one took a funny bounce off of Turner. I was just about to mention, boy, the confidence builds with each pass you connect, and you can see it grow in the eyes of the Orlando players, and then that happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something Orlando City can do. They can possess the ball. I mean, possession stats are usually heavy in favor of Orlando City. But, you know, we need to look for Dennis Chin. Need to look to get his pace involved. Need to look to get him slipped behind. But also, remember what you do. Remember what you do well. Their wing play is phenomenal in Orlando. As good as any you're going to see, as good as any you'll see in this league for sure, and sometimes as good as anything you're going to see in professional soccer in the United States.
Valentino. And Reading, the partnership in the central defense tonight. Surin. Switch is made out to Bowden. They close him down quick, but he'll cut inside. Get a little nifty with it. Darren Toby will concede the throw to Orlando.
That was Luke Bowden getting jiggy with it.
Does he know what that means? So actually a throw to Charlotte, last touched by a man in purple. On the right side, here's Yates, who's been really quiet so far.
He's a real rhythm player.
He just moves everywhere too, doesn't he?
Well, you know, in talking to him before the game, you know, I've got to have the ball at my feet a lot. The more I have the ball at my feet, the stronger and better I get in a game, the more I grow into a game. So for Charlotte, it's important that they get him the ball as much as possible. And again, his ability to pick a pass is really wonderful to see if you have a chance to watch him play and pick up some highlights. And again, loves to dribble, and he's very strong in the dribble, and he can turn on a dime and absolutely corkscrew you into the turf.
Boy, nice ball ahead, collected by Dennis Chin. Inside the box, gets off a cross. Might have been a handball in the box, not seen. Play on.
Well, that was good hard work by Dennis Chin there. So I'm taking that ball, turn and drive past those defenders and looking to get that ball squared.
Picked up by Thompson on the near side of the field. And Orlando takes possession. Here's Dennis Chin, runs to the corner of the 18-yard area. Waits for support, makes a move to the right. Nicely defended and pushed off the ball. And that one will be a field goal. And a goal kick for Charlotte. Visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. You were talking about Yates, Tom, and that's the beauty of this season. You want to watch any game in the league, all you got to do is pop on YouTube and you can see exactly what you're talking about. Every game this season on YouTube channels of each team.
I love it. Such a great format. I mean, I'm able to sit at home and pull up lots of games and watch lots of games.
Great for our research.
Oh, it's a really wonderful thing that the league has done.
Learn our pronunciations as well beforehand.
How important is that?
It's funny, I've Giuseppe Gentile, who scored a goal for Charlotte in the opening meeting back on May 21st. Now with Orlando on for the rest of the season, we were calling him Giuseppe Gentile. And his first name, he'd rather just go by Juicy. But Gentile, we've now learned, is the correct pronunciation. So even our own team, we get wrong on occasion.
Gentile.
Juicy Juice is what he's known on Twitter.
That's Italian for goal scorer.
Valentino sitting down on the far touchline. No score between the Lions, about to enter our 29th minute.
It's been a real chess game affair, very tactical here. Orlando, getting the ball again, keeping it, making good use of the backs, changing the point of attack. And Charlotte, very disciplined. They're sitting in going, it's fine. We're going to sit deep. We're not going to worry. We're going to let you have the ball. You want to keep the ball in and around midfield, we'll let you have it there all day long. Sitting in tight, and as you just saw, trying to cut off passes that go forward. So Orlando City going to have to be really, really busy at the other end with their movements to drag players out of position.
Fans, make sure to follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates. That be follows from the players or getting your scores. That's a good way to get the scores. You'll see the league will tweet out the score updates. Player transactions, a whole lot more, all on social media now. Boy, what a tool. It's one of 5 games in the league tonight, Tom.
Way different than when I used to follow the game as a kid. Boy, if I had
transistor radio.
Yeah.
Not soccer, though. Not in this country.
Well,
it's changing now, though.
I remember when I was a kid listening to some old soccer games and listening on radio, actually.
The old NASL days. Well, that's all we had.
That is all we had.
Now plenty of options. USL Pro, of course, the partnership with MLS. That's only going to continue to get stronger up and down the pyramid.
There we go.
Turner there on that left side playing some offense now and can handle it. Slides out and gobbles it up.
It's a good look at Alex Can.
Native of Decatur, Georgia, 23 years old.
6'4", strong man.
And there's a turnover by Charlotte. Quickly taken by Orlando City. There's the throw. And that one, a dangerous searching ball by Molino. And Can again off his line and handles it finally.
So far, no real strong efforts on frame yet by either team. Unusual in the 31st minute.
Two solid defensive teams. Orlando leads the league in fewest goals conceded with 12. That's a pretty good stat.
It's always nice because if the other team doesn't score on you, you're not going to lose a lot, as evident with their record.
Charlotte has conceded 27, has scored 23. Best scoring team in the league right now, Richmond, with 46 goals. Orlando in second with, make that third now, is LA Galaxy 2 at 42. And 3 games in hand, the Lions now at 35 goals scored. Like to get one here to crack the lid off this one.
Yeah, I think this game, I mean, any game needs goals, but this one certainly needs one right now, Jeff. This one needs a goal in a bad way to kind of liven this thing up a bit.
Span. And Kobe wisely backs it out, sends it out wide. Turner holds it down. Tyler Turner, the 18-year-old. So on that right side of the defense, you got Redding at 17, Turner at 18, both rookies, both in the U.S. national team youth programs.
Yeah, I was going to say, these are 2 young men who are representing our country at youth international levels.
And now playing professionally.
And getting experience playing day in, day out at a high level with a great coach like Adrian Heath.
Charlotte trying to ping things around a bit. Up the possession stats somewhat. We played 32 minutes in this one, no score between Orlando City and Charlotte. A rematch of the league championship game as Redding gets there first. A dangerous ball. Estrada was closing in on it. Christensen plays it back.
Yeah, Christensen has had quite a little learning curve, you know, coming in and having to work into this Orlando City 4-2-3-1, learning some of the little nuances and how important the role he plays is, and you know, learning and developing inside of that role. And he's had to do it very, very quickly.
He has it now inside the circle. Again, using the width of the field. Tyler Turner. Back to Kobe Span, playing that right midfield spot tonight. Here's a Benge looking for a Bowden. Missed him by that much. It's defended.
Well, he just couldn't get the ball turned quick enough and clean enough to find that run. Luke Bowden spotted him clear, knew he was going to make the run.
Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. You can follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. Charlotte decked out in the Nike kits.
See a fair number of those new Nike Black Pack shoes out there as well. There's Dennis Chin wearing a pair right there of the Superflies.
Did they replace the CTR 360?
No, that would be the Magista
that
replaced that shoe, Jeff.
Of course, only Tom would. Well, nobody knows more about that side of the business than Tom.
Hey,
United World Soccer.
We got to talk about Nike. What a great company.
Sell plenty of that.
A great company, and they do a lot for USL Pro, and you'll see their footwear all over this pitch.
Turner. Drilled across. Heavy touch by Molino. Recovers nicely. Back with the left foot. And Benge. Span. Kobe will send it out quickly right back into the mixer. Christensen runs up. Now here's the cross from Turner in front. A little dummy move. Back heel attempt by Molino.
Dennis couldn't move. I think he knew he was offside. He could not move.
Not enough pace on it. He got caught. Here's an attempt for Orlando. Molino, span, cuts it to the left foot. Kobe, and Benge with the left foot, and it's saved.
I think you might have been offside. I think we're going to have an offsides call. I'll tell you, anytime you get that ball, watch as you come across, Kobe Span coming across, finding Mbenge. You put Mbenge on that left foot that close, you're coming out your seat, because you know that's got a better than average chance at going in the back of the net. But
Molino in an offside position.
I think it was an offsides call.
10 minutes from half. So you hear the Ruckus continuing their chant in front of Alec Can, who is pitching a shutout so far, along with his counterpart Miguel Gallardo on the other side.
So if you coach Mark Steffens, you're pretty happy because you've kept it close. You're in a playoff hunt. You're searching for 3 points or at least a point. You're coming into Orlando. So you've so far gone through the first half. I'm sure he'll be very happy to get out of this half at 0-0.
Christensen muscles the win there on the 50-50.
And if you're Coach Adrian Heath, you're probably not as happy, because after going 180 minutes, now 100 and now we're up over 200 minutes with no goals. You want to see a goal.
Benge with a nice win. Bowden, Valentino. Been a lot of room on that right side tonight. I think Charlotte has learned to lock up that Bowden and Mbenge combination.
Yeah, you definitely haven't seen it as much, and even when Luke Bowden has managed to get forward, the pass hasn't been as good as it should be, so that he's able to get something played in.
Miguel makes the distribution. Surin, whose little brother Oscar has been training some with Orlando City. 2 El Salvadoran internationals perhaps in the future of this roster.
It's a family affair, Jeff.
Darwin and Oscar.
And then you also have Coach Adrian Heath and
Harrison. Who is in the 18 tonight.
A little slide and family stone action. It's a family affair.
Oh, a nice win by Valentino. Down went Yates. One right back as Leathers retreats. Guzman.
Good ball.
Forward, great ball along that right side. It's Estrada. Estrada sends it in on frame, but into the side netting. So that will certainly count as a shot. Could have done perhaps just a little better with it. And Valentino up to the challenge of Yates. It's kind of like a destroyer, the old sweeper stopper days. He's the stopper. You can't get by.
He is the heart of Orlando City in many respects, Rob Valentino. But a very, very, very strong individual and very committed in his challenges. And when he makes a tackle, you know it.
Molino and company still pressing for an opening goal here with about 5 minutes and change to go in this first half. No score. Got away a bit from Mbenge. Surin up on that left flank. Pushes Leathers off the ball, and it's not enough. Decision goes to Charlotte.
I think it's going to be a free kick. I think they're calling Darwin Sarin for an infraction.
Sarwin does lead the team in fouls committed. Typical of a central midfielder.
Hey.
We were just talking about Valentino being a destroyer, right?
He's in the game. He's playing. He's busy. And he's busy with and without the ball. That's the good thing.
All 5'7", 165 pounds of Darwin Surin. Gallardo. Here's Span. Newnham closes him down and earns the throw.
Orlando State doing a good job with possession. But you look there, you know, Tyler Turner gets it. He's not able to go forward. He gets it and he's coming back. Orlando City spending a lot of this half keeping possession, but going side to side on the pitch.
Well, Yates and Redding doing battle.
Where I'm sure Orlando City is going to want to go more north and south, and not east and west.
Here's a switch being made. Going to be bouncing, fortunately, right over the head there of Guzman. So Orlando City will retain possession here with 4 minutes to go. Very quiet game. Not many chances for either side. Orlando's had the possession. Swing and a miss in the end by Tyler Turner.
Slid right out of frame. There he is.
Race is on. Redding unable to get there first. Nice run by Estrada, but he overran. Redding held his ground.
I'm saying that was a lovely ball dropped in. Tommy Redding, very nice job in positioning himself.
How about the left foot delivery there when Christensen, now Bowden, will pound it out. We'll have a corner kick for Orlando City.
Haven't had many of those.
First of the match.
I think it is.
With our 43rd minute. Bowden will take it short. Surin. Send it far post. The header by Span. Redirects a shot by Valentino. Did not use his head that time. Used his feet.
Well,
not much on it.
Came back to him. He couldn't wait. If he'd have waited for it to drop, the opportunity wouldn't have been there. So he probably took it a little earlier than what he wanted. And unfortunately, because of that, wasn't able to get as much power on as he would have liked.
Well, it's been a half for the defensive side so far. And Benge chips it ahead. Dennis will race to the corner, and Bilal Duckett will just make sure and send it out. Tyler Turner to throw. 2 minutes from halftime.
But I don't know that I put money on this scoreline starting the game 0-0 at halftime.
It's Herrera, center of the park, dangerous ball. Don't want to lose it there. It's back in to Thompson. Now work the right flank. Leathers and Benge come together now. Kevin Molino puts it on. Big save made by Can, who came out in an instant, in a flash. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Another speculative ball on the cross. So finally something to get out of your seat about there.
Wow.
Minute from half. Luke Bowden runs into the 18. Here's a cross in front, across the face of goal.
Another good ball laid in. Somebody's got to get something on those. Well, look at this. There's a good ball in. Good touch by Kevin Molino. Gets in.
Oh.
And just at the last second, foot save by Alec Can. Came off his line nice and strong and tried to make as big a charge as he could. I think Kevin did a good job at trying to finish, but very timely slide, if you will, by Alec Can to keep that one out of the back of the net. So I think that was definitely headed there.
So Estrada. Does Charlotte have a moment of magic here? Estrada again. And loses it in the middle of the pitch. Fans, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. Ball through.
Oh, wow.
Benge was right there. A rebound, a shot, and a goal. But an offside flag perhaps up. No, Dennis Chin.
Now you see what it means. Look at that reaction. About time.
Into stoppage time, Dennis Chin with his 6th goal of the season came right to his feet.
Well, there's Kevin Molino looking for him. A good run made right there by Mbenge. And there's Dennis Chin. Hey, that's a poacher. And right there, he says, time to do the nay-nay. We've scored a goal.
Well, a gift wrapped up nicely with a bow. And
look, when you haven't scored in over 2 games in almost, let's say 5 halves of football, you're happy to get one on the board no matter how it's going to come. And this is certainly good for this game. It's going to pick things up.
the Lions strike in stoppage time by pressing the issue along goal. Yeah, just send it on frame. Good things happen. Can made the initial save, but it went right to the foot of Dennis, who buried it. Not sure if the flag was up. It was tough to see with the angle we had.
Not timely if you're a fan of the Charlotte Eagles or a player with that squad. You really wanted to hold this 0-0 going into the locker room. If you coach Adrian Heath, at least you've got something on the board. Okay, we kick on from here. Service resumes. Normal service resumes.
Got about a minute to go here, opening half. Orlando City has just uncracked the scoring column for the first time in over 2 games with Dennis Chin's 6th goal of the year. Be a nice time for him to get hot here in the month of August. Have him heat up with the weather.
Yeah, it's time to get hot.
Had it out, throw in conceded Orlando. About 30 seconds to do something with it. And it'll be walked back. Christine Uncle was not ready. Christensen. He'll send it to the far post and nobody home. So Alec Can has had a nice half. Made the initial save, could not stop the rebound.
Well, yeah, once you do your job, you've got to hope that players around you to help you out. He kept the first effort away, but it just happened the way it fell. Dennis Chin was right there. Not much anybody from Charlotte could have done, and Dennis Chin certainly did his job exactly how he should do it. Put that ball in the back of the net.
We've got the halftime whistle. 1-0 Orlando City on a goal in stoppage time by Dennis Chin is the difference in this one. Orlando City with possession and with shots on goal and control otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. There you go. I mean, 7 shots in all, 6 of them on frame, which shows the job Alec Can has been doing this half. 1 corner. That's the surprising thing. With that kind of possession, but only 1 corner. But the important stats up top. 1 goal for Orlando City, 0 for Charlotte.
Beautiful night here outside of Orlando. Purple and gold in control. 1-0 at the half. We'll be back with the second half here on YouTube in about 12 minutes. The Lions lead the Eagles. Orlando City over Charlotte 1-0 at the half. You're watching USL Pro Soccer on YouTube. Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler getting ready for second half action. As you saw on that shot coming back, some lightning off in the distance. It's been a beautiful night so far. Hopefully we can get this game completely in, but as we were talking during the half, it's an official game at halftime, so they can't finish it. Orlando, and that Dennis Chin goal was very, very important there in stoppage time.
Yeah, indeed. You know, it's a good thing that Orlando City, speaking of lightning, they struck before the halftime whistle.
They had to wait for the clouds to build up and that storm to roll through as the Lions put to bed a 2+ game scoreless drought here against the Charlotte Eagles, who talk things over. You see Jorge Herrera, captain of the Eagles. Again, currently in the 9th spot, so below the playoff line at the moment, but they've got a couple of games in hand as well, just like Orlando does. Charlotte has got a chance to move up maybe on Orange County and Charleston.
The important thing about those games in hand is what you do with them. You have to win them. That's the only time they become important, is when you're picking up the 3 points. I mean, at the bare minimum, a point, but what you really want are the 3 points. Because that's what everybody says, you know. Well, if they win their games in hand, they'll be this many ahead. But that's if. That's an if. That's what I always say. I'd rather have the points than the games in hand. I'd rather have the sure thing.
Charlotte will face Richmond, the bogey team of the Richmond Kickers. Charlotte Eagles knocked them out of the playoffs this year. Richmond's only lost this year to Charlotte. They have their number, so that will be their game next week. You would normally think, we got to play Orlando and Richmond, the top 2 teams in the league, back-to-back weekends. That's never good. But they've owned the Kickers the last couple of seasons, and then they'll have 3 straight home games at the Queen Sports Complex outside of Charlotte against Rochester, these Orlando Lions, and then the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. So a little home stretch to maybe get them back in the playoff position. We were talking with Mark Steffens ahead of the game, and I almost wanted to say, hey, it's been nice knowing you. You know, we're going to MLS next year. You know, you've been great these last 4 seasons as far as our broadcast. Love talking with you. Wait a second, we may see you guys in the playoffs again if it finishes out 1-8.
Hey, you never know, but I'll tell you, he is quite a gentleman, Coach Mark Steffens.
The dean of coaches and certainly the gentleman of coaches in his 18th season at Charlotte. Now, Wells Thompson, who we thought may not be able to go very long because of an injury, but he's been just fine. Been running all over the place. Duck it ahead as we're underway in our second half, switching sides. Of course, Steffens, the 2008 USL Coach of the Year. Guzman will carry in a center. We'll restart. Again, our referee tonight, Christina Uncle. Our race is in. He and Surin come together. Christina says, let's restart this. Just underway. Sleepy first half until stoppage time, really, Tom.
Well, yeah, you look at it and no effort really to think of except for the Estrada effort. He got free over on the right side and was able to get a drive off, but in the side netting. You know, Orlando City at the end of the half picked up with the really good chances. You look at the Kevin Molino penetration where he got through one-on-one with Alec Can, but a great save by Alec Can. And then, you know, he gets through again. Alec Can with a save, but right back to Kevin Molino's feet, or to Dennis Chin's feet. He was able to tuck that away. The interesting thing is a lot of sideways movement, a lot of going from side to side for Orlando, keeping possession, not a lot of penetration, and that's what you're probably looking for, is a little bit more penetration. You know, especially when you're changing the point of the attack, you're trying to find a numbers up situation. So Charlotte doing a good job of keeping themselves balanced in that situation.
Eagles' first foul committed of the game leads to this free kick opportunity from Darwin Surin. He'll chip it over to the far post, running in, headed in for a goal, Orlando City. And Tyler Turner has his first goal as a Lion.
Well, what a serve. He set that nail up on the board, and Tyler Turner hammered it in. 2-0
The native of Milford, Connecticut, flew in from nowhere.
Watch this. Good service, very clean. Boom. Like a hammer on a nail, Jeff, like a hammer on a nail.
And then flies away, and the assist to Serwin, all smiles as well. Perfect delivery, perfect finish, and it's 2-0 Lions.
That feels good when you're a player, I gotta tell you. When you get in the box and you get your head on something and you hammer it home, that's like, yeah, I'm a man. Gets in my belly.
I was about to go Austin Powers, man baby, but no. You went with a different character.
You never know. But you see what I did there.
Oh, how about the back heel? Now Span looking, gets chipped up, goes down in the box.
No penalty?
Waiting on the call.
Well, now we've got an injury situation
down.
Is there no penalty here?
Two players. Make that 3 is the goalie down as well.
Well, here's a second look. So there's Kobe Span. He is just in the edge of the box, right there, right on the edge. That's going to be a free kick in the edge of the box for sure.
Guzman raced back to save it. See Can down as well. Span will be attended to. And a yellow card. Make that a red a straight red to Guzman, and he's gone.
Stop the goal-scoring opportunity, Jeff. I mean, the laws of the game are pretty simple when it comes to that. He's in a breakaway situation. So we're going to get this from another angle. You see he's in a breakaway situation. It's him and the goalkeeper. And he takes him down from behind. I don't think that the referee, I don't think that Christina Unkel was left with any other option but to send him off.
So a red card on Guzman. That will put Charlotte down a man the rest of this match, as Christina Unkel trying to get an explanation, but to no avail. Guzman will be sent off here, and Charlotte's job to come back from a 2-0 deficit got that much more difficult.
And it is a penalty. It looked like it could have been on the edge of the box, but no, it's a penalty. So up steps one of the league's leading points getters, Kevin Molino.
So Molino with a chance to really put this to bed. Boy, a nightmare 3-minute span here for the Charlotte Eagles, who could go down by 3 goals if Molino could put this in for his 12th of the season. Kevin stutters, steps, scores! The Lions lead by 3.
Look, and they're like, we're not done. We want the ball. We want more goals. But that's okay, because Bilal Duckett says, it's all right, I'll get it up there quicker for you. Good penalty. Watch, steps right up, knows right where he's going, a little stutter step, boom. Just tucks it away in the corner, as sweet as you please. And then he says, wait, we got more time. I could get more goals.
Not on that play. 51st minute. Molino makes it 3-0 just 3 minutes after Tyler Turner with the goal. That one on a penalty kick. Boy, his 12th goal of the season.
What a difference 5 minutes makes, huh? I mean, night and day from the two halves. From the first half to this half, just night and day, Jeff.
No lightning yet from the clouds that are lurking.
Plenty of thunder, though, on this field.
No kidding. Lightning has struck twice for the Lions. The purple rain. So 52nd minute, and boy, that's about the most unfortunate 3-minute span you can ever have as a visiting team here at Orlando. And now, of course, Charlotte chasing a 3-0 game down to man as Guzman sent off. There was a game the first season in 2011 where Orlando played down a man. Jack Traynor was red carded, pulling down Jorge Herrera. So here we are 3 years later. That game ended 0-0, a draw. Charlotte got a point that night, and now turnabout is fair play. Orlando gets their revenge.
Is that like lightning striking twice? Sticking with the lightning theme.
Yeah, Jack Traynor pulled down Herrera from a goal-scoring chance, and the Lions able to survive and get a point out of that game. That was the first time those teams have met, and every game since, the Lions have secured points. And Charlotte not gonna be able to break that stalemate. break that schneid. And one of the 3 teams, non-expansion teams, who have never beaten Orlando.
Barring something silly and ridiculous, no, I can't see where they're going to this evening.
Very uncharacteristic of the Eagles here.
You'd mentioned that Orlando City is leading the leagues in goals against, so for them to concede is a rarity, much less to concede 3 times in a match. Or now it would have, well, 3 times for a point and 4 times if Charlotte's going to win the game at this point.
Always interesting to see, though, when you're the team up, you take a few steps off the pedal just to lighten it a bit. It's human nature.
Well, I'll tell you, that goal set the tone. That Tyler Turner header, I tell you, what a great feeling that is for a player when you score off a header in the box. Wow.
And for your first professional goal at the same time.
Wow.
So Orlando, with a man up, they'll continue to push. This is going to be a long half for the Charlotte Eagles. Expect some substitutions.
It's a funny old game, Jeff. You never know. I mean, we talked about it before. This game is a cruel mistress. Can give you what you don't deserve sometimes. So, I mean, you never know. It doesn't look good right now. I grant you. And it looks like it could be more of an onslaught.
Kevin Molino gets the corner, sends it across, and earns a corner kick.
Yeah, looks like it could be more of an onslaught. But I mean, it just takes a couple, 1 or 2 touches can change a lot of things.
Ben Noonan there defensively to keep it at just that.
Hello, Noonan.
So we're wondering how long it would take to pop the lid off the scoring bucket. And now it's coming down in buckets. And how about this? Ian Christensen will serve it up with the left foot. The New York Red Bull loanee will play it short to Darwin Surin. Far post header opportunity there for Valentino. They had 3 guys, including Bilal Duckett, marking him. They know of his exploits in the air.
Yes, indeed. Like I said, Rob Valentino, a very important part of Orlando City corner kicks.
Be interesting to see how close was he marked on Tyler Turner's header. Did the attention you paid to the Orlando City captain as a player goes into the bench in the technical area? That was Valentino.
Rob Valentino
dusts himself off, gets right back to work.
He takes out players, he takes out tables. He is a one-man wrecking crew.
In 6 minutes of game action, the Lions have scored 3 goals, going back to stoppage time in that first half. So it's been Chin, Turner, and Molino.
Well, for close to 120 some odd minutes they couldn't score, and then for 6 minutes they couldn't stop.
That's the way it works, though. Right? You say that about a striker all the time. That's feast or famine.
Hey, you talk about, they're struggling to score goals. Well, now look at it. You talk about, Kevin Molino hasn't scored since June. Well, I mean, look what 6 minutes has done. Now we're back to normal service, Jeff. And that's the thing. That's why it's important in this game. You never really get too high about anything, and you never get too low about anything, because the next game's coming. You just can't linger on any one thing in this game.
Span will send it in. A lot of pace, but over the top. Scores, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. Speaking of scores, latest updates we have, games in progress. Pittsburgh Riverhounds leading the LA Galaxy 2-1. And the Harrisburg City Islanders at the Dayton Dutch Lions. They're up 1-0 in the 60th minute at last report.
Boy, anytime you're talking about LA Galaxy 2, the Los Dos, and you're saying a score line, and they're the last part of that score line, you got to be careful.
Not always 2. Orange County Blues and Oklahoma City Energy also underway. Sacramento Republic FC and Arizona United later tonight, 10:30 kickoff Eastern.
7:30 Pacific.
That's correct. And here the Lions lead 3-0. Breaking out of the funk, as it were. There's Kobe Span. He'll send it across back. A redirect, and Molino nearly had goal number 13.
Wow. Well, way to hold on to that ball, Kobe Span, because I thought for sure he might have a go himself on frame. It's very tempting, but just look for that trailing player coming in. So watch as he comes in. He's looking the whole way. Could have had a go. He says, nope, I'm going to pull it right back to the middle. Kevin Molino just not able to get. It was a difficult ball, to be fair, but he wanted it back. He knows he could have directed that better on frame. You look at his reaction there.
Molino gets a touch again. It's taken out, and paying the price there for Charlotte. Checking for teeth.
Is there a dentist in the house?
Check the player. It's Greer, so the center back.
Could be his nose.
J.J. Greer will be checked out by the training staff as play will continue.
It's his nose.
Meanwhile, now Charlotte essentially down 2 men here with Greer off the field. We'll have to shore things up. Just possess. So the Lions, Tom, are well on their way to 3 points tonight. 3 points clinches a playoff spot here as we just get set to open up the month of August. Oh, great through ball to Molino. He's onside. He shoots. He scores. 4-0 Orlando City. Molino's got a brace in his 13th goal of the season.
Good finish, but a great ball in. I believe that was by Luke Bowden. Let's have a look here. So Luke Bowden threading the needle, and Kevin Molino with the deft touch, chipping it right over Alec Khan. Look at that. What a lovely little lift and finish over Alec Khan. And he's right back in the thick of it for the league's leading scorer. Like I said, Jeff, normal service has been resumed.
Entered the game 3 goals behind Matthew Delicott of Richmond. And now the kicker has a much slimmer lead, and we're not done here.
Well, once he scored his penalty, you saw he wanted to go back and get the ball. He's like, there's more time here.
Drew Yates now will come off, and they'll bring on Matt Gold, who is more of a defensive-minded midfielder. So now it's let's minimize the damage here.
Well, I think that, Drew Yates, he just said he's a rhythm player, and he's not seeing much of the ball. And when he doesn't, he just kind of drifts in and out of the game. So probably a no-brainer change for Coach Mark Steffens.
Toby.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they concede the throw. Very uncharacteristic of Charlotte here to concede this many goals.
Well, when it rains, it pours.
There's no
Jeff.
Dom Dwyer on the field tonight who had...
No. And, the interesting thing, I mean, Charlotte, they do struggle to score goals. It's a group effort when they score goals. So they don't really have that one guy that can change a game. It's very difficult. So at this point, it is about probably just, stopping the bleeding. Let's get some pressure on the cut, so to speak. And let's try and get out of here and not make it any worse than it already is, because, in the position they're in with needing points, but they're also in a playoff position, goal differential becomes important.
Especially if you're worried about a tie there right at that red line. The top 8 teams make the playoffs. You're currently in 9th position. If it comes down to a goal differential, you finish 8th, your reward will likely be playing Orlando again, but still rather have the opportunity.
Hey, yeah, you want to make the playoffs. I mean, regardless of who you play, you want to make the playoffs.
Charlotte last year finished in 5th place, 12-5-1, advanced all the way to the final against Orlando. Another driven ball in by, Mbenge was right there as Turner sent it in. Visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. They make good friends. USL Pro. 3-0 Orlando City. We're over the hour mark now. Make that 4-0. Excuse me, I'm losing count now. Molino with 2 goals. Just look at the screen, Jeff. Just look at the screen. Here's Turner. Could it be 5? And Benge holds it off on the edge of the 18-yard box. Herrera reaches back. There's Matt Gold, a former Ohio State Buckeye.
And remember, Orlando City are playing to a man advantage because of that red card to Juan Guzman.
So if you're Adrian Heath, here you are, 64th minute, Tom. Time to send in the reinforcements and call off the dogs, perhaps?
No. You know, no. You know, as thin as the squad is, you might be saying, okay, there's some players we could rest. Games are coming thick and fast. But at the other side, you're saying, hey, we've just struggled to score goals for 2 games. Now we've got a rhythm, and it's important that we stay in that rhythm. So I think he's saying, hey, if we can get more, let's get more. Let's keep our foot down on the pedal, boys.
Luke able to keep it in, and it'll be going out for a corner kick. Nice job, Luke Bowden, who takes a couple of breaths after that one.
Twinkle toes Bowden.
Twinkle toes.
He's got light feet.
Here comes our first substitution. 2 will come on for Orlando City. Austin Deleuze will come in for Adama Mbenge. And Juicy Juice. Giuseppe Gentile. Most likely in for Dennis Chin.
Gentile. It's Italian for goal scorer.
What's Giuseppe Italian for?
Giuseppe is Italian for I like a spaghetti. More translations at my Twitter page.
Got a chance to watch Gentile training. Had a pretty nice little back heel effort for a goal during training. And when he's been on the field these last 2 games for Orlando, he's looked quite well. So maybe he's in line for his first goal as a Lion. Of course, last time he was on this field, he scored a goal for Charlotte, which ended a chance at a shutout and clean sheet for Orlando.
So he does like scoring goals on this field. That's the good thing if you're an Orlando City fan.
I want to do it in purple tonight if possible.
I'm sure he'd love to open up his home account here this evening, Jeff.
Here's Kobe Spann, trots into the attacking third. Looking for Kevin Molino, already has 2 goals. Now Spann sends it across. Gentile was right there and put it over.
Told you, Gentile. It's Italian for goal score.
Gentile, their first opportunity, his first minute in. Fans, make sure you follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates. Currently trying to follow the league right now to find out scores of other games. Richmond not in action tonight if you're an Orlando City fan.
I think they won last night, Jeff.
They did. So that's why they've closed to just a single point. But again, they played 3 more games than the Lions have.
So with the 2 games in hand, it appears that Orlando City has opened up a 4-point gap.
Here are the fantastic support from the Orlando City crowd, including the ruckus. All going well here. Weren't sure there for the good portion of that first half. It seemed like that fog that clouded over this team the last 2 games was continuing. And then, boy, the skies opened up for him.
Just takes a goal. Then you're like, okay, everything's okay.
Lions have made it 2-0 on Tyler Turner's header and a beautiful delivery from Darwin Surin. And then Guzman red carded. So 2 goals have been scored on the 10-men side from Charlotte. So we're entering our 68th minute. Here's Gentile. Giuseppe on the run. And with him step for step his former teammate Bilal Duckett. See how bad Juicy wants to score on his old team. Of course, he was a loanee of the Chicago Fire when he was with the Charlotte Eagles.
They're saying let the juice loose.
There are so many good opportunities for his name right during a broadcast. So many possibilities. Will be sent out harmlessly for a goal kick.
We gotta go to watch that sail away.
Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. 4-0 Lions. Molino a brace here in the second half.
This is important, you know. I mean, if you're Orlando City, let's get right. It's like you fall off the horse. Let's get right back on it. All right, we didn't score goals for a couple of games, but let's get back to it, boys.
Leathers trying to stay with Luke and couldn't handle it that time.
I think he was looking for that back heel for Kevin Molino there.
Johnny Leathers, who coming back off a 2-year hiatus from soccer, last played for the Vancouver Whitecaps, made 22 appearances back in 2011. Also a draft pick of the old Kansas City Wizards back in 2008, Johnny Leathers.
Remember when it was the Kansas City Wiz?
Nobody beats the Wiz. Unless you were at Arrowhead.
It's the Kansas City Wiz, the Kansas City Wizards, and now Sporting KC.
It's crazy what a building will do.
They're like the Prince of MLS. Can't figure out what they're like the Prince of the MLS, or they're like Puff Diddy Daddy, because Sean Combs could never figure out what he wanted to be called either.
Got Sporting Park and everything changed. They go from having perhaps the worst venue.
Now, if they start changing the name of their stadium, something's afoot.
It's amazing how Arrowhead Stadium, when it comes to the NFL, is one of the best places to see a game, but when it comes to soccer, not so much. Of course, they played at Community America Ballpark, which is a baseball field really close to where the current Sporting Park is.
They've changed parks a lot. They've changed names. What is it about being in Kansas City? You can't stick with one thing?
Yep. Now you got players taking selfies every time they score a goal in Dom Dwyer.
Oh, my goodness. It's bedlam in Kansas City. Bedlam, I tell you.
I believe they've won 5 straight road games in MLS. That ball through. Here's a chance for Charlotte in front. And Herrera couldn't get there. He'll race to the end line and be able to save it. So Lions a bit sloppy on the defense there.
You can't shut down ever. I don't care if you're playing against 11 or 10 or 9. You've still got to do the same things for 90 minutes.
Span tracks back again. Orlando City playing with a man advantage here. Molino off to the right. He'll shoot, and it goes right into the gut of Can. He was looking for the hat trick. Couldn't get it there.
Well, Bilal Duckett was tracking back, going left, going right.
He's going to earn his paycheck, Bilal Duckett, tonight.
Kevin Molino with a strong drive right at Alec Can.
Here's Juicy Juice getting loose, getting it off to Valentino. Look to return the favor here, perhaps. As Gentile trying to make a name for himself, maybe get his first goal as a Lion. Span up front. Gentile is there, puts it in the back of the net, but offside. And he can't believe it.
He's like, oh. The question is, would he celebrate?
Still got 19 minutes. We'll have substitutions now for the Lions as we take another look.
Lovely little touch.
Oh, Molino.
What a lovely, delicate little touch. Unlucky that Giuseppe Gentile just offsides.
Also entering the game,
So Harrison Heath
number 22, Rob Valentino.
make his home debut as a Lion. Not a trialist this time. Harrison Heath, the son of head coach Adrian Heath. He's in for Christensen. Russin now in for Redding. So Russin coming back from the injury. We'll get some minutes here as he makes that march back to his starting spot at center back.
So to answer your question, Coach Adrian says, yeah, I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to use my my full allowance, my full compliments. But I think he'll say to him, hey, you keep the pedal down, boys. We don't let up. And it doesn't look like Giuseppe Gentile right there was letting it up at all. If anything, he's picking up the pace going after that.
Correction, Russin in for Valentino, so Redding's still out there. Still straight sub, center back for center back.
I think Harrison Heath is in for Ian Christensen.
Yes. Christensen, nice job in his home debut. A lot of debuts tonight here. Saw Heath here in some friendlies as a trialist, and now he's played in a couple of games, but here at home for the first time. Our number 12 has a few inches on his father.
a little bit taller.
There's Molino, and it's off to the right.
If not for that little slip, you never know. You can tell he's hungry. He wants those goals. Nice ball in by Tyler Turner, and that little slip. I think that it cost him a little bit on that. It looks like Alec Ken was in good position.
So once you get a taste for scoring goals, everything changes, right? You got Kevin Molino, who scored 7 goals total in his first 3 seasons here in Orlando, and this year he's got now 13 of them.
Well, once you just get filled with confidence, you feel like you can do anything. It's a confidence thing, really, Jeff. And when the goals are coming, they're coming.
A chance as Leathers plays it right back. As Thompson puts it into the back of the net, and there goes the shutout. Wells Thompson makes it 4-1.
Well, Wells Thompson supplying some thunder here in Central Florida with that strike.
Thompson's third goal of the season.
Look at that. Head down, knee over the ball, struck it clean. I think Miguel Gallardo's like,
yeah, Miguel was looking for his
that
9th clean sheet.
You can tell by Miguel's reaction, he's not too happy with that one.
And now Thompson will check out. Damage done.
Thank you and good night if you're Thompson. Wow.
It's like dropping the mic. Fortunately, his team's still down 3 goals.
Yes, it's not as good, but when you get subbed after scoring, what else can you do?
There's Herrera, who's a team leader in goals with 6 coming in.
It's time to vote
Zach
for your
Boggs
man of the match.
replaced Thompson.
OC Game Day app.
Number
To
7.
vote now.
Zach Boggs, the former UCF Knight, played in 2006, then transferred to USF. So I'm sure the crowd that knows that and not happy, that's not the school you transfer to if you're a Knight.
No, that's like if you're a Liverpool player going to play for Everton, or if you're a Man City player going to play for Manchester United. You just don't do it.
Boggs, though, the 2011 MLS Humanitarian of the Year. He's a Rhodes Scholar nominee. Won the Fulbright Scholarship. Studied in Leicester, England. Cancer cell biology.
Wow.
So a smart and steady attacker. And Vienna, West Virginia in there at striker. Now Orlando trying to get that goal back and keep that 4-goal cushion as we draw into the final 15 minutes of this one.
You saw Luke Bowden with a nice drive from his left, getting blocked out early.
Fans, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. Seeing a good one online tonight. Now Molino with the left foot. Duckett knocks him down, and there will be a free kick awarded about 5 yards outside of the box.
I think Duckett's got a case for, I don't know what it did there. It's going to be a free kick for Orlando nonetheless.
Quickly taken by Surin, won't force the issue. Sent into the box, defended nicely by the visitors from Charlotte. Racing down the left flank, And it's into touch. Throw in to Orlando City. Well, the Lions, if results hold here the last 13 minutes, will improve to 15-1-4, move up to 49 points. Charlotte will go to 7-12-3, sitting on 24.
I think this win will have, like you said, clinched a playoff spot, but that's not the aim here in Orlando. I don't think the question was, will we get into the playoffs? Orlando City want that President's Cup. They want to win the title of regular season champion.
Molino. Deleuze was in front. Now Bowden will deliver into the box. Whipped across, headed back out. Turner still in there. Again, had his first goal of his Orlando City career earlier tonight in the 48th minute. And headed away. Kevin Bowden will retreat.
Kevin Molino was in the box again. He's like when trouble happens at grade school, you always find that one troublemaking kid. And that's him. He's always in the box. He's always where the trouble is, Jeff.
Free kick ordered by Christina Uncle. So Orlando City well on their way to the playoffs for the 4th straight year. Unless Charlotte can pull back 3 goals here in the next 12 minutes. They will clinch a spot. Of course, top 8 of the 14-team table will make it this year. Lions aiming a lot higher than 8th.
Like I said, for them, it's all about the President's Cup. They want to be the regular season champion, Jeff.
Won the cup, the Commissioner's Cup, right? Last year.
Commissioner's Cup.
Yeah, 2011, 2013. Had the best record in the league in 2012 and were upset in the playoffs by Wilmington that year. Did not win as Charleston took the championship. Have the best record so far. Again, anything happens in the playoffs. You can be the best team. You have one off day. It's a one-off competition, and you're done.
Yeah, you want both, really. I mean, both would really signify, hey, we are the top dog. We won the regular season. We won the playoffs.
Sent wide. Boggs now into the box. Here comes Noonan on the far post. Overshoots everybody. Deleuze gets set to throw. And a substitution coming on for Orlando.
Entering the game, number 19, Botello Jean-Jacques, or number 2, Tyler Turner.
So Botello Jean-Jacques comes in for Tyler Turner. Here's the scenarios. So win tonight, as you read right there, clinches a playoff spot for the Lions. You get 14 points total. You'll host a first-round playoff game if you're Orlando. Now, 18 would clinch the Commissioner's Cup, the regular season championship. Now, that is if Richmond wins every single game the rest of the way out. You may not need 18, probably won't.
Well, being that they're going to play each other, obviously that's going to change quite a little bit. But you know what you're saying is 18. It could be fewer, but you know if you definitely get 18 points, you're probably Commissioner's Cup champion. But it could be fewer depending on results from other matches.
Guy Brandau comes in for Darren Toby for Coach Steffens. So we're in that portion of the match where it's change everywhere. A lot of times you see the flow disrupted of a team too when you see those multiple subs.
Yeah, I think if you're Charlotte, you're just like, hey, if we have some subs to make, let's get some fresh legs out there because we're playing a man down.
Leathers will chip it back across. Play keep away, or is Duckett? Trucks it ahead in direct fashion, racing on Estrada. And Redding was right there. Now you see Miguel, you know he wanted the clean sheet tonight. Wells Thompson able to beat him there in the 75th to ruin the perfect night.
Yeah, I think if you're Miguel Gallardo, if you're Orlando City, if you're a defender, if you're Orlando City in general, you always want a clean sheet. I mean, that's doing your job. So they'll be slightly disappointed they didn't get the clean sheet. They'll be happy to get the win. They'll be happy with 4 goals, but they really wanted that clean sheet.
Gallardo with a .611 goals against average. Believe it or not, that is second best in the league. As Rochester Team that beat Orlando last week. Been really good in that department. It's certainly a team to watch out for. Rochester currently sitting in 5th in the league standings on 31 points. Again, they played 22 games, though. That's just as many as Richmond, so more than anybody. There's Haith. Nice move to the back. Bowden, fellow countryman. The Englishman sends it to the far post inside the box. Span was right there, but Newnham was tracking him the whole way.
That was a tantalizing delivery by Luke Bowden. Good job by Tyler Newnham to keep that challenge away, because, man, keeper was beaten, and all it needed was a nod.
Corner kick Orlando, as Austin Deleuze will do the honors, leaving it to Surin. And Gold harassing Surin.
Oh, lovely ball.
Now Deleuze looking across, and Molino has it go off his head and off to the left of the bar.
Well, he's there again. He wants that third goal. The Lion is hungry.
He had 3 goals against Charlotte in the first meeting, so 5 goals against his team. If you're Mark Steffens, you don't ever want to see number 18 ever again.
Well, the good news is after this season you won't, because he is going to MLS.
One of 5 players for Orlando signed to the MLS club for next year. Molino, Yordani Alvarez, Surin, and then also Tyler Turner and Tommy Redding, the 2 defenders, with I'm sure a couple more to come at season's end. Can make a case for a number of the guys. Make the move up. That one drilled into the fence. 85th minute, Orlando City 4, Charlotte Eagles 1. So glad you're with us. I'm Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler, our entire ESPN crew, bringing you the color pictures here from the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Rain's held off, Tom.
The rain's held off. The lightning stayed at a distance, but the thunder was right here.
Harrison Heath wearing 12. And to Molino, they clean that one up. Right side. This is Jean-Jacques getting some playing time tonight. Number 19 playing right back. Can play either side. There's a chip in with the left foot. And Duckett, maybe that Jarvis Greer rather, put that one away.
Harrison Heath showing some very nice composure there in the midfield. Again, another young player to add to this Orlando City roster is Harrison Heath.
Kevin Molino has just been named the man of the match, the Orlando City man of the match, voted on by that Game Day app. No surprise with his brace. He was the man of the match against Charlotte in the first meeting, as we said. A hat trick in that one. Still not done here with 4 minutes to go.
I think Harrison Heath's another the teenage brigade here at Orlando City.
That's right. Tracks back right now. One touch, looking for Gentile.
Looking for that combination.
Again, it's not the result, it's how you play when you play for Adrian Heath.
That's right. It's just doing the right things, and it's doing them consistently, I think. It's, you know, bringing the right energy levels, bringing the right mentality, playing the game the right way.
Bowden across, Gentile right there. And it's off his heels for a goal kick. Well, join us Saturday, August 16th at 7:30 right here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports as your Orlando City Lions will host the Harrisburg City Islanders. Hope to see you there. So Harrisburg will be the opponent next Saturday on the road on the island.
They're going to the island.
Lions 4 of their next 5 away from home. A lone home game, the Harrisburg game we just talked about. They'll have those 2 straight games against the City Islanders, then at Charlotte, at Richmond, at Wilmington. So the North Carolina and Virginia area, up the Mid-Atlantic, Tobacco Road, if you will, for the Lions here. right side. And
well, I'm sure Adrian Heath wants to decide to get smoking hot for that trip up Tobacco Road.
some barbecue. You know, I love that Carolina barbecue, man. The vinegar-based sauce. It's good
Here
stuff.
we go.
Molino will race in, has Deleuze to his right. Austin Deleuze in front, and Duckett will be in position to carry it out. 89th minute right now.
Just like a Swiss timepiece, Jeff. The right time, all the time.
There's a chance for Herrera and company as Heath on him like white on rice. Or bangers on mash, excuse me.
That's a better one if you're English.
Chips on fish.
Like, I don't know, white on rice, because I don't know, wherever I go, they're asking me if I want brown rice. So I was like, what happened to white rice?
Everybody wants the whole grain stuff now. It's better for you.
There you go.
More heart healthy.
There you go.
Austin Deleuze looking for Molino off the back heel, and Boggs cleans that up.
I'll tell you, this result does the heart good if you're an Orlando City fan.
Heath. Chip
Lovely
it wide.
ball. Lovely ball.
Kobe Spann flips it up. And headed back, and tough to handle for Alec Can.
Harrison Heath, again, showing some really nice composure and delivering a lovely ball.
In our 90th minute, 4-1 Orlando City. This will snap a 2-game winless streak by Orlando. Will certainly start a new win streak for them.
Hey, it's what we said.
You start it tonight.
You end one, it's just time to start another one.
18 in a row until Rochester came a knocking. First ever win by the Rhinos against this club. And Charlotte will not get there first tonight. A couple of draws on the ledger. They've gotten some results. Here is Bowden. As we're into stoppage time, 3 minutes have been tacked on to the end of this one. It's been pretty much academic since basically a 6-minute span to start the second half. Goals from Turner, Molino on a penalty kick, and then Molino in the run of play.
Orlando came charging out of the dressing room to take control of this one.
Now there's an asterisk on those last two goals. The Guzman, the midfielder, Juan was red carded in the 49th. So Charlotte's been playing a man down the entire match since that point.
They have, but you know, I liked how Orlando approached the second half coming out. They got a little bit more direct. Their possession had a real good purpose. They were looking to penetrate a lot more, and I think that this type of result was coming whether it was even strength or you're a man down.
Boggs gets it out and cleaned up by Russin. Subbed on for Valentino. 2 minutes to go in this one. Lions have roared loud and proud. Back from that lone defeat of the season in this one. Comes into the box. Miguel comes off his line to handle it. Perhaps one more time for an attack. Looking for a bow tie.
Well, I think I know the guy who wants the goal.
Yeah.
Kevin Molino. He wants a third one. He wants to equal the league's leading goal scorer.
Tom, that's what you want. You want guys who are hungry.
That's right. Absolutely.
You know, Gentile would like to get his first goal as a Lion and his second on this field. And they've got about a minute to do something about it, as Reading will just play catch. Heath. Boy, great ball ahead, as unfortunately Gentile couldn't catch it. A little too much pace. Drilled down the line, and that will be a goal kick for Orlando City. About 45 seconds remain in this affair. This titanic struggle being owned by Orlando City at this point.
Well, it certainly sets them up well for their road travels. They've got a good home win.
We said in the open, they had to get the 3 points tonight. It was a must.
Yeah, it was a big 3 points, really, with Richmond closing the gap to 1, albeit with goals and with the games in hand. But again, we talk about that. You gotta get the points out of the games in hand. So Orlando City, one of the games in hand, they've got 3 points.
Heath will dribble it out. Now 3 minutes into the full stoppage time. There's the whistle from Christina Uncle, and this one goes to the Pride of Lions. 4-1 the final over the Charlotte Eagles. Mark Steffens and Adrian Heath shaking hands. Lions continue the unbeaten run against Charlotte. They improved to 15-1-4, 49 points now, staying in first place, 4 points ahead of Richmond. Charlotte drops to 7-12-3. They'll stay on 24. And look forward to a date against the Kickers. And of course, we are going to be rooting for Charlotte in that one for sure. Here are the end of the game stats, Tom.
Well, 15 shots in total, but 10 of them on target, Jeff. And that's a big one as to why there's 4 for Orlando City in the goal column, but only 3 corners throughout the entire match, which is a bit of a shocker. But the result was never in doubt. 4-1, Orlando City.
Lions hit the road for 4 of the next 5. We'll see you back here on the 16th for that one game against Harrisburg. Dennis Chin started it out in the 45th minute of the first half. 1-0 at the half. Then it was Tyler Turner, then Molino with a brace. Wells Thompson spoiled the shutout for Charlotte, but in the end, it's a 4-1 victory for the Lions. For Tom Traxler and our broadcast coordinator, Austin Hiddle, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long from Walt Disney World. Lions win it 4-1.